This is KLFY News 10 at 10.
The Louisiana Supreme Court will soon decide if a man previously convicted of conspiracy to commit murder will be back behind bars.
He was released from jail last year after an appeals court reversed his conviction and vacated his sentence. His brother, Chavis Toby, were both charged with second-degree murder in the killing of local boxer Brandon Broussard. Prosecutors alleged the brothers ambushed Broussard at his home and shot him to death. In trial, however, Carlos Toby was only found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, while his brother was sentenced to life in prison for second-degree murder.
It wasn't long after that an appeals court reversed Carlos's conviction, saying there wasn't enough evidence to prove there was a conspiracy. He has since been a free man. News 10's Britt Lafaso tells us how the district attorney's office now hopes to change that by bringing the case all the way to the Louisiana Supreme Court.
Yeah, guys, Carlos Toby has been free for nearly a year now. That's something the 15th Judicial District believes should not have happened. They've been working to get this case before the Louisiana Supreme Court, and today the High Court decided they will be reviewing the case. Broussard's family believes they'll send Carlos back to jail, though Carlos's attorney is not worried.
This is a very, very unique case. It's not often at all that a court of appeal reverses a murder case, or in this case a conspiracy to commit murder. So I'm not surprised at all that the Supreme Court wants to take a closer look at it.
In the trial of both brothers, prosecutors pointed to a night at a Lafayette nightclub as a motive for the murder. Attorneys say local boxer Brandon Broussard beat Carlos Toby in a fight, and Toby wanted revenge, enacting the help of his brother to murder Broussard. Carlos Toby was sentenced to 25 years for conspiracy to commit murder.
Well, he pled not guilty because he is not guilty, and the Third Circuit has reversed his conviction, so he's an innocent man.
An appeals court also vacating that sentence a year after the trial. Carlos Toby's attorney says the state failed to prove their case.
The state had a theory, but they had no evidence to support the theory. They had no proof of an agreement between Carlos and his brother, or Carlos and anybody else, to commit the murder of the young man.
Prosecutors with the 15th Judicial District pointed to cell phone tracking and video surveillance to prove their case. The appeals court deciding that evidence was not sufficient to convict him.
They had no credible evidence whatsoever to support that theory, and no matter what happens, that's not going to change. The record is clear.
The 15th Judicial District, however, believes the appeals court got it wrong. For the last year, they've asked the Supreme Court to hear the case, and now they will.
Once they do a thorough review of the record, I think they're going to be convinced that there is no evidence that Carlos Toby conspired with anyone to commit a murder.
I did speak with Brandon Broussard's mother about the Supreme Court. Now hearing this case, she tells me she believes Carlos Toby was the mastermind in her son's murder. She hopes the Supreme Court will overturn the appellate court's decision and send Carlos Toby back to jail to serve his initial 25-year sentence. Britt Lafaso, KLFY News 10.